You're watching Cheery TV.
Howdy everybody, and welcome back to Stranded Deep in Conversation, where I talk about the things I like to talk about because I am here for me, talking about things that I like to talk about. I don't know. I never know actually what to say for the start of these, but either way, what I do like to say is I hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a great day. I'm having a pretty damn solid day myself. I actually just realized that the summer sale is about to end, so I'm going to purchase the things in my cart. But first, let me just... that'll be fine. Okay, hello, everybody. Hope you're all doing fantastic. Just was clicking a button to confirm a couple of things. And there we go. Okay, cool. They've been purchased. Good stuff, me. Pat. Okay, hope you're all doing well. Today has been pretty good for me. I've actually been, I don't know what it is, but I've actually been better on my sleep schedule lately, which is a very big surprise for me. Not one that I'm going to complain about in the slightest, because I've been trying to do that, and for whatever reason, I couldn't really do that. Up until recently, and it mainly came from my vacation, which is what we're going to be talking about today. My Brooklyn vacation. I think that's the title anyway. I can't remember. It's been too long. It's been a whole hot minute since then. It's already been almost because basically the entire trip. We left early on Friday and we came back like a little evening Monday, like late afternoon, early evening Monday. So it's almost been a full week since we left, and then the weekend's gonna fly right by because it always does. And basically, this trip will fade away into the skies to be forgotten, but not before I talk about it a little bit because I just want to talk about it. You know, just sort of tell y'all how it was, and sort of just to keep a note of it, because I do feel like this is one of the more important things that I'm going to talk about, because it was a really nice trip. It was a really good one. It was a very needed one at that. You know, I mean, it wasn't like I was in a rut or anything. It's just I was kind of feeling more and more just same old with how the days were going. And it was like, hey, you know what? My friends been wanting me to go visit them for so long, I may as well go try and do that. And so, I guess we'll start with the preamble of the vacation. It was a weird thing, because I tried, normally with how my work is, I get like 2 days off in a row, which isn't saying much, because like children get that in school, which is like, hey, pretty good deal. And so I still kind of get that, because normally it's like 1 day off, few days later, another day off. But lately, the past few months, he's been giving me like 2 days off back to back, which is very, very nice. It gives me a nice time to have a break. It's really just pleasant all overall. And I was thinking, hey, you know, during one of these 2 days break things, I should go over there and see him. Like, I can leave early one day, and then I can have like the whole day, and then like I can leave late the next day. And then I'll have like basically like a full day's worth of hanging out with my friends. And I thought that was a really great idea, so I started looking into it, and I was like, okay, yeah, I could do that. But I had to keep some things in mind. My friends, one of them works and is only really available on the weekend, because that's when he has off. The other one's in school still. Yeah, that or he just finished. I'm really bad at time frames. But regardless, he's very busy doing a lot of his own things. So the weekend was basically what I assumed was going to be the best bet. So I was like, okay, well, he doesn't give me the weekend off. He gives me my own weekend, which is usually like Monday, Tuesday. Now it's going to be, I believe, Thursday, Friday. So we'll see how that goes. But just generally speaking, I would have had to figure out the weekend, is what I was imagining. And so from there, I was like, hey, if I have to ask for this vacation, because I'm going to have to figure out the weekend, maybe I'll ask my sisters if they want to come too, because I feel like they would really enjoy it. I feel like it would be a nice experience for everybody, you know? Oop, 9 o'clock. That's how you know this is early. Normally I'm recording this at like fucking noon, basically. So yeah, I'm feeling good, and I don't think I yawned yet, which is crazy because I definitely should have. I did not wake up in like a I want to wake up mode. I was like, oh yeah, it's 8, I should wake up, and I did. Kind of crazy, but yeah. So I'm like, hey sisters, y'all want to come? And of course they both gave a big emphatic fuck yeah, because it's like. Brooklyn, we haven't been there in a few days. We've been there in a while. The last time we went there was for like half of a day, maybe, in August of last year. So it's been almost a full year since we've been over there. So it felt good figuring out a time to go back there finally after so long. And then I start looking at the weekend. I'm like, okay, so I'm thinking before I gave them times, I was like, let me figure out what days would work best. So I figured. We probably like my sisters have off on Friday, so if we start Friday, we go back Sunday, or we like have Friday off just to chill. We go out Saturday, Sunday, and we come back late Sunday or something. I go to look at how I was going to get there, which was the Amtrak services, the trains. I guess trains are awesome. I love trains. I think trains are the best mode of transportation, especially when they're working smoothly, which the Amtraks always do, which is honestly just a fucking godsend. And so I go to look at the trains for a Saturday trip or a Sunday trip, and let me tell you, I don't know where they get off. I don't understand who they think they are, because those trips. Oh, there's an ant on my table. Hold on, there's an ant on my desk. Sorry, little guy. You got $120 for a trip, for one person, might I add, to just go out on a Saturday. Then it'll be another $120 or so to come back on a Sunday, and it's like, what? No. So if I wanted to get everybody out there, it would have been over $700. Why are there so many ants? Where do they come from? Well, I say so many. There's like 2 more. I don't like ants. I don't like having ants in the room. I'm fine with ants everywhere else, but when ants show up in here, that's cause for alarm. Because I like ant-proof the fuck out of this place. But hey, what are we gonna do? But so I'm like, okay, that's out of the picture. We're not doing it Saturday, Sunday. So I was like, hey, what if we just extend it to Friday into Monday? And then I look at the times for that, and even Friday was like, he was saying about $40 per person. Like, oh, thank Christ. And Monday was the same situation. So ultimately, it was like $250 for the entire trip there and back, which is like, oh, fucking steal. So we figured that was gonna be the time. And then next came the fun idea of getting home situated, because I was like, hey, well, I didn't even like ask one of my friends yet. I just kind of assumed he would take me at least, and my sister assumed one of her friends, and the same thing for everybody else. Everyone just kind of was hoping that our friends would pull through and house us for the weekend, because it's been so long, and especially for my friends anyway, they've been hounding me to do this. So they're like, oh, maybe they'll give me the hope that I need, the place I need to stay. And he was like, yeah, because they also live with their families. So I was like, hey, I know it's probably like I will give you like more, like a little bit of money. Like, I'm not gonna be a stickler, like if I can stay there for a much cheaper price, then I'm gonna stay there for a much cheaper price, even if it's a price. And my friend was like, yeah, I'll see if you can. That'll be pretty awesome. Ultimately, we couldn't because they had some weird plumbing work they had to do this weekend, involving ripping up the ground in front of them, which also was right in front of a school. So a really inconvenient plumbing issue. One of the most inconvenient. Like, I have to dig up part of the fucking road to get in there. Sucks. But I was more like, sucks. I hope your plumbing gets fixed more than anything. So I was like, okay, can't do that. And I was like, okay, maybe my sister can get us all to stay at her friend's place. But they were also a bust. So it's like, hey, it's whatever. I'm not gonna. I was kind of just shooting for the stars at that point. So I was like, okay, we gotta find an apartment. That's fine, or a hotel or something. That's okay. I expected this to be an option. I was saving money because I had the idea for the trip like at least a month beforehand. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna start not spending about anything at all, and hopefully, we can have enough money to make this work. So I look for apartments and stuff. And long story short, it was a long back and forth for a while there of me finding a few places, like being like, maybe, but then it was like, maybe not. And ultimately, there was one day where my sisters came to see me at work on a Friday, and I was sitting down with them going over some of the options that we had. I eventually boiled it down to 3 options. It was like a Best Western, some other hotel, and both of those were pretty far away from where we wanted to stay. There was one place that was a lot cheaper than those two, but it seemed a little sketchier. But it was also closer to where we wanted to be, so it was like, hey. My sisters were completely fine with that. I was like, all right, fuck it, sure, hey, why not? So we booked the thing, and we had now, as of that day, which I can actually find because it was my email. As of June 14th, oh geez, yeah, so we had this thing fucking situated way in advance, because we're just cool like that. I like being ready in advance, hella hardcore style. We had train tickets. We had an apartment, not a hotel, an apartment booked. So it was like a bunch of rooms or something. I don't know. You know how it is. You know how apartments work. It's like Booking.com shit. It's like it's professional. We didn't just go to like Craigslist and try to find a place there. So we had that, and all that was left to do was get there eventually and come up with plans what we were gonna do that day, and what we were gonna do while we were out there. And there was a bunch of stuff we wanted to do. We wanted to go to all the old stores we wanted to go to. We wanted to see our friends. We wanted to like, just kind of have a good time. We weren't too worried about getting a lot done. We just wanted to go out there and do some of the stuff we haven't done, seen some things we haven't seen in a while, and especially mainly our friends, and just Brooklyn in general. So it was like, pretty cool. So we eventually sort some stuff out, which I will go over as the episode continues. But ultimately, July 5th came around, which was that Friday. And so we hiked up our boots, pulled up our suitcases, which I brought my one big ass green suitcase, which was just a joy to lug around. I didn't put too much in it to start, because I was like, I'll have all this space in case I need something else. I gotta buy some other stuff, which was great. Very happy, but I chose to do that. But the one thing I will say is that it is huge. So I was more inclined to just kind of stuff it as the time went on, because that thing was made. I got that like years ago. It was made for Christmas, and because I was back in college still, and I was lugging around my computer. And the first time I did it, I just put it in like a really big bag and started just kind of like hoisting it. And trying to travel with that was a nightmare. So they got me a suitcase, which is pretty cool. But so I haven't really used it much after that. So I was like, hey, fuck it, I have a suitcase, which is exactly which is weird because I've used it a total of 2 times in the past 4 or 5 years I've had it. And it's pretty useful, pretty solid. I'm hungry. I might stop to eat something, because holy shit, my stomach is killing me. But regardless, we'll move on from there. Now I have my suitcase. My sisters have their bags. We found like a really nice suitcase for one of them at like a vintage store in the town nearby. Pretty cheap too. It was only like $20 for like a solid suitcase, which is. You don't find that price anywhere anymore. Usually they're like at least $60 for any sort of suitcase, which is just fucking ridiculous, by the way. I understand it's needed and it's necessary and it's like a really important thing to have, but then why make it so much money? It's like insulin, but way less important than insulin. But the point stands. Like if it's an important thing for its situational need, why make it cost so damn much? I digress. We have all of our suitcases. and we shove off to the old Amtrak station, and which was pretty smooth. Again, Amtrak has never let me down once. There was no delays on my train. We get there, we get in the train, we ramble, we talk for a while, and we kind of make a lot of just rambly jokes, like, as we're talking. We hear things or we see things, we make jokes about them. And I don't know what happened exactly on this train ride, but at some point, I think I went to, like, extend my table, because there's, like, a little table in front of you, like, you can pull it towards you. And the only reason I say I think this is the situation, it's a very boring sounding situation, but I did it again on the way back, and I made a noise when I did it that I didn't realize was going to be a crucial and integral part of the trip, which sounds stupid, but as I'm pulling out this table, I like rev it up, I'm like, ha, and then I'm like, tuh, as I pull out the table, and then I am immediately reminded of the stupid Hawk to a thing that's, like, online now. It's like that one girl who, like, fucking did that during an interview and was like, spit on that thing. And I'm reminded of that. I never found it funny when it first came up, but then I say this, I am reminded of this. I look to my older sister, who looks at me with the exact same amount of shame and defeat in their eyes, and we both start laughing our asses off. We thought it was the fucking funniest thing in the world. All my twin sisters just sitting behind him, like to the side of him, but behind him in my perspective, and just absolutely confused, like, what did I miss a funny, what happened? And we both just are so embarrassed and full of shame that we try to explain it, and as we explain it, we just keep saying it, and we keep laughing at it, and we laugh at it more every single time we say it, and it just gets to a point where that is we can't stop laughing about it, and needless to say, throughout the entirety of the trip, there were dozens of moments where one of us just started going or like we'd go by Hoyt Street and we'd go Street, and it wasn't funny. It's still not funny. I still don't think the original video is all that funny, but for whatever reason, doing that, like that was just the inside joke, the bit for the Brooklyn trip we had, and I don't know why. All because I said it by accident, not even meaning to reference that thing, but we both were reminded of it, and we felt sad, and it was hilarious. So. And there were other jokes that did spiral out of just bullshit comments, but that was the first one, at least. But, we had a nice trip. My twin sister, had made us some stromboli, homemade stromboli, for the ride. And holy fucking shit, that was the most delicious stromboli I ever had in my life. It was like a honey glazed ham, and there's salami and a bunch of fucking cheese in it, and holy shit, it was delicious. I devoured that entire fucking piece of stromboli. It was delicious, let me tell you. Some of the best food I've eaten in a while. Yeah, we pretty normal trip ride there. It was like at least 3 hours, probably a little more than that. And it didn't feel like that. It felt like 10 minutes because we were just talking and chilling through the entire time. It was good. It was a very good train ride. And we get there, and we are confused about where we have to go next. We go off on Monohoy, and we go, and then have to go to Penn Station and take another train somewhere. Take another train somewhere. I'm not trying to get into too many specifics now because it's getting into it's a little more personal stops, I guess. But regardless, we figure it out, but before we figure it out, we stop off at a Rose's Pizza in Penn Station, which, holy shit, their pizza's delicious. I always knew their pizza was delicious, I just never got to eat it, and holy crap, it was delicious. It was Rose Pizza. I don't know if it's the same place, because there was one that I always heard was really good, but then it closed due to COVID. I don't know if this is the same one that just made a comeback, or it's just another place that they just stole the name because it's such an infamous name in pizza. I don't know, but we had some. It was delicious. My twin sister thought it was too sweet, so they didn't really like it that much. But me and my older sister, we chow that shit down. All the while, they're listening to absolute fucking bangers on the radio. And they got a lot of the older stuff. So I mean, they had like fucking the Beach Boys and the Beatles. Wouldn't it be nice? That's not the Beatles one. That was but either way. And they also had Creedence Water Credentials. I don't know if this is the title of the song. It was like, "Have you ever seen the rain?" And which is a great song, and I love it. And that song in particular got stuck in both my and my older sister's head as we were going on just the regular trains down to where we had to go. And we're both just going like, "I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain?" Just for no reason, just stupidly just blurting it out for no reason. And at one point, I think I was like, "Have you ever seen the rain?" Like, not the rain, but Lorraine. And we did it, for whatever reason, in a British accent. I don't understand why it started as it was. But I was like, "Potter, have you ever seen Lorraine? She's a wonderful lady. She's wonderful." It was just so stupid. And of course, we were both laughing like we found the funniest fucking joke in the world. And we carried that joke in for the next few days as well, especially when I was around my friends, because we eventually met up with one of my friends and told him this joke, and he didn't fucking get it at all. We were like, "Have you ever seen the rain? Have you ever seen the rain?" Because it sounds similar. That's the joke, the rain. It sounds pretty similar. So it's like, "Have you ever seen the rain?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's raining." And yeah, like, I don't like the rain. It's like, "What did the rain do to you?" And it's like, "Wait, what?" He didn't get it, and it was the funniest fucking thing, him not getting it. Everyone was laughing, especially my one friend who did get it was just sitting there in embarrassment for him, but also just trying not to burst out laughing because it was such a stupid joke. It was great. It was awesome. But before that, let me say, we're like 20 minutes in, and I haven't even gotten to actually any of the stuff we did. This is literally just the travel bit. Sorry. I like to ramble when I tell stories because I have a lot of details in my brain that I like getting out. So who knows how long this episode's gonna be, but I'm up early for it, so we ball. We get off the trains and we head off to our apartment, which is like, hey, we finally have made it. Feels good. As we're going along the trains, we notice stops that we've stopped at before. We're like, "Oh my god, it's this place again. I miss this place. Oh my god, it's crazy." Like fucking Bay Parkway. Woo, Bay Parkway. Yeah, Bay Parkway. It's awesome. And we eventually stop. And it's like, from according to the thing, it's like, hey, there's a right from this train station, the apartment's like only like 5-minute walk. Turns out it was like a 10-minute walk, which is fine. I'm okay with that, and all of us were fine with that because we're used to walking basically everywhere normally anyway, so it's fine. It was a little hotter. This weekend was very hot and very strangely wet at one part, but either way, it was nice. We get to the apartment, at least what I think is the apartment, but the instructions, and by instructions I mean map, was very confused with the address it gave us. So I wasn't super confident, but I also just saw a bunch of people with suitcases leave this building. So I'm like, okay, this is probably it. I said okay. Wait. He was like, check-in was like 2 to 3. We get there at like 2:04 because we did kind of just stumble around Coney Island for a little bit before we actually went there. And we went to It's Sugar, which is like just a big candy store. And we just kind of wandered around for a little bit there. And I actually found the stupidest fucking notepad because it just said reason, like why I want to have sex with you. And then it had like a time frame, like a list of like 200 reasons. And then it had like a little quip at the end of each note. And this is a notepad, so you check it off. You can rip it off and hand it to your friend or whoever, your pursuee, and just hope it works. I don't know. It was a very weird notepad, but I thought it was funny, so I'm making jokes about it. But either way, we went there first, and then we went over here. We arrived like 2:06. No one's there. It's kind of weird because like the door is very small, and we didn't know if we should go in or not because we didn't really know if it was our place or not. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try to try to call, and I call, and they're like, oh yeah, just we'll be down soon. Okay. Alright, yeah, like you're right by the bus stop, right? I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, we'll be in soon. And we wait some more. Ultimately, to no prevail. They were not coming outside. So then we figured, oh, maybe we're in the wrong spot. So we go around the entire fucking block, only to not see anybody outside or see them or anything. And we loop. It takes like almost 10 minutes to loop this fucking block. It's a big ass block. And then we go in there, we finally hit the end, and it's like, okay, well, I guess I call again. But before I could call again, they called me. And I was like, oh shit, let me call back, because I just realized that they called, and I didn't answer, so I call back. And he's like, oh yeah, just give it a few minutes, sit in the store next to this place, and you just chill if we ball. And I'm like, okay, sure, why not? We'll take that. So we chill in there for a little while. We talk to the person who's running the store. Very, very nice lady. She was offering us a lot of candy and just generally had a lot of nice things to say. And she was a very pleasant person. Very, very pleasant person. I cannot remember her name. She had a very thick Ukrainian accent, so I couldn't really make out a lot of the words she was saying, but she was very, very nice. One of the nicest people I've ever met in Brooklyn. And it was a good, pleasant start, because after that, the people kind of started dwindling in niceness. But it was good. It was nice. And then eventually, after a while of waiting, a pretty long while waiting, he said, the guy is like, hey, we're ready. And so I'm like, okay, cool. And so we go upstairs. It was like we were on the third floor of this building. It was the top floor. The stairs were very, very wonky. They didn't exactly walk well. And we get to the top, and he's like, okay, hold on. I still have to get your key. And I'm like, huh? Apparently, this entire time, I don't know if he was just getting the room ready or he was just looking for the key, because he could not. He kept saying he at the front could hunt down the key, and I'm like, how do you not know where the key is? But I'm like, okay, I guess. So we all get all up in there. He still has the door wide open because we don't have the key, and it was just funny because we were just looking at the room and we were like, okay, this is an interesting room. Every room was kind of like weirdly squared away from itself, and like had a bunch of weird hallways with things in it. It was a very odd room, but it was like, hey, we paid like fucking nothing for it, so it was like, hey, we'll take it. And eventually he gets the key. And he's like, okay, cool, we got key. We'll bring bedding soon. This place was not have any bedding. I think he just got people out of there and was just getting it fixed up for us. I don't know. Well, maybe, but maybe not, because after we get the key, we close the door, we test the key, and it all works out. We sit in their room, and we're sitting in the room that my sisters are going to be occupying. It has a bed and a couch, and also has the TV, so I'm putting my Switch in, and I'm trying to set it up there so we can watch some stuff before when we want to go to bed. And as I'm setting this Switch up, we hear an incredibly loud thud. Like, a very loud thud. And I had already put my bag in the other room, so I was like, okay, maybe my bag fell over somehow. My sisters thought I put my suitcase on a shelf, which is just fucking stupid. It's a really big fucking suitcase, and massive, heavy. So I wouldn't have done that. I just put it, like, in the closet, and then I didn't put it, like, on anything. So I'm like, okay, maybe it just fell over somehow. I don't know. We go to check the room, and there's just a bunch of wood chips and debris on the floor, and we're like, huh? Where'd this come from? There's no noticeable hole where you were standing. We turn the corner. Well, we don't turn the corner. We look inside the room a little bit, and right above the archway to go into, like, the doorway, I should say, right above the doorway inside the room is a massive fucking hole just in the ceiling. Out of nowhere. It wasn't there before. If you guys don't get the picture yet, it collapsed. The fucking roof above the doorway just collapsed. It just broke. And we're like, that's not good. And it smelled very mildewy. It was very, very kind of yucky. It was very kind of yucky. We get into contact with the person who gave us the apartment, and he's like, oh shit, we'll get another room ready. And he fucking, kind of like half an hour later, he gets another room ready downstairs, all the way at the first floor. I'm assuming that's where the people just came out of, but I don't know. But yeah, so we get in that room, and it's a much nicer room, might I add. It was all one big room, so we weren't all like isolated like prison cells. It was very nice. We were all in together. The faculties were very close. Everything was really nice. It was a much better designed room. And we were very happy with that because we could all just be with each other. We didn't have to like split off when we were going to bed. It was nice. And so we situate into the room for like maybe 5 minutes because that's at this point it's like we checked in at like 2-3. It was I think close to like 5 o'clock by the time we actually left that place. Hold on, we didn't talk very much these past few days. I could probably scroll up and find it. Here. Wait, no, different day. Hold on, different day. Different day. The whole pack in your pants, huh? Could've moved hours ago. Whoa, who is 5:30? Was it 5:30? Oh yeah, it was close to like 6 o'clock basically, when we actually got to meet up with our friends. And this starts the first thing we did that on our trip, which is we went to get ramen because my friend, one of them in particular, has been really wanting to get ramen with us for months now, and for whatever reason, my other friend who does live in Brooklyn just keeps saying no. I think it's fucking hilarious, but he doesn't. So we finally eventually got our ramen, and immediately we fuck up because I bought like a huge gallon of water at a store that I was apparently not allowed to bring in to the store to the restaurant. Didn't realize that. I'm kind of an idiot. My sister did the exact same thing. So we kind of sit them down. We don't drink from them. Their water was delicious anyway. I just kind of had it. You know, I didn't really think, and I didn't have a car or anything to put it in. So I was like, all right, I'll bring it in. What do you want me to do? So we get to look at these menus, and I see ramen with a bunch of shit in it that I have never fucking eaten before. Like bamboo shoot, like scallion stuff, just generally like a lot of like a hard boiled like an egg, some sort of egg, like a half of an egg, in this bowl, a bunch of pork and stuff. I didn't know what the fuck I was looking at really, but one of my friends gave us all a recommendation. And we were like, okay, cool, that one. Then my sisters got some of their own things. Ultimately, we got our ramen. And this place is chopsticks, and a lot of the beginning of the eating of the ramen was my friend trying to show me and my other friend how to eat with chopsticks, which it went okay. For me, it actually went pretty well. I was testing it out on my ice cubes in my water, and eventually I did actually get to grab one, and I was like, fuck yeah, I did it. And then when the food came, I was pretty good at it. I wasn't like the best, but I was able to grab onto everything. The noodles were a bit of a challenge, but I used to grip like a bunch of them and hope that some stuck, and they did. So it was great. I did pretty well, and my friend though did not do as well. He was struggling the entire fucking time we were eating the ramen to actually grab anything with the fucking chopsticks. It was fun because he was really fucking embarrassed that he couldn't get it working. He was like he was really sad that he couldn't get the chopsticks going for him. But I thought that just made it even funnier for me. So I was like, fuck yeah, dude, this is awesome. It's stupidly hilarious. So it was good. And don't get me wrong, the ramen was actually really good. The bamboo shoot stuff in it, I had one in my bowl. And my friend was immediately like, you're not going to like that. I don't like that. The texture's weird. You're not going to like it. I try it, and I did like it. It was pretty good. And so he's like, oh shit, you like that? I'm like, yeah, it kind of has like a weird, like, with all like the broth and stuff in it, it just kind of tastes like the meat, which just makes me feel like it's a meaty texture, like it's a chewy meat, which is fine. And I liked it. And I had mine in my bowl. It was great. And then my friend was like, here, have mine. And I'm like, okay. So I have some of his, and at that point, the texture starts getting to me because I don't know if he just had chewier pieces or all of it starting to get to me, and I'm like, okay, this is fine, I guess. So I ate all his, and I'm like, okay, this is fine. And my other friend is like, here, you can have some of mine too, and I'm like, oh dear God, okay. And at that point, the texture really started getting to me, and I was chewing on one, and I almost regurgitated everything I ate that day into the bowl because I don't know, just the amount of it and the constant talking about how the texture was gross made my brain think, oh, this is gross. Okay, let me throw it up real quick. So almost didn't. And I ate everything in that bowl. There was like some egg, some pork pieces, lots of ramen. The broth was actually really good. The only thing I didn't like was the onion on the bottom. There's a lot of onion on the bottom. So sometimes I went to scoop some of the broth, and it was just very, very crunchy. And I was like, oh, I fucking hate this. Don't like onion. Not a big fan of onion. But everything else in that bowl was very good. I had a lot of it. My friend wasn't the biggest fan of it. He didn't eat everything, but he did eat a good chunk of it. It was good. Ultimately, a very good start experience. Very stupid. Lots of just stupid jokes being thrown around. Let me say before I say the last thing that happened during the ramen thing, I'm a fucking mess eating that food. Like as much as I had the chopstick things down, I was spewing fucking juices everywhere. Like, every time I would bite into some noodles, some fucking shit would fly off of them in every direction. I don't know how people eat that stuff cleanly. Like, my friend next to me was eating it like it was like a fucking, like nothing. Like, there was no liquid at all. It was just like a chomp and it was done. I was like, what the fuck? How do you do that without it spewing everywhere? His mind was just spewing everywhere. It was a mess. But it was a delicious mess. I'm trying to remember more of the stuff that happened during the dinner, but I guess we don't have much time to talk about it anyway. The last thing that I know happened was my sister, as we were leaving, grabs her gallon of water, but doesn't hold it right, so it falls, and luckily it was inside of a bag, so some of the damage wasn't spewed out of it, but a lot of it still wound up on the floor, and we felt really bad. I went into the bathroom to grab some napkins. There were no napkins. They just had like a hand dryer blower thingy. So we told the people, hey, we fucking fucked up. I'm sorry. And they were like, oh, it's fine. Because we said our water spilled. I think they probably thought like the cup of water. Like a good third of a gallon of water was on the floor. I felt so bad. I felt terrible. We fucking got out of there, and we were assuming we're never allowed back, basically. But it was very good food. It was a very good time. The pork was really good. The egg was really good. I didn't think I'd like the egg, but the egg was a really good texture, really good flavor, just good all around. That fucking egg was delicious. Holy shit. I can see why people eat that in their ramen. It was so good. God damn. But after that, we wanted to go to Coney, which was the main plan for that day. We were going to go to Coney Island, go on some rides, maybe have a hot dog or something, have a good time. The moment we get into Coney, it starts lightly raining, and we're like, oh, this is inconvenient. And by the time we exit the station, it is heavy downpouring, thunderous applause from the sky. It is like a nightmare movie, which is like, oh shit, this is inconvenient and sucks because I don't want to go on a fucking giant metal ride while there's a thunderstorm happening. So we all hole up in. We try to go to an arcade nearby, which apparently closed down. We didn't know that. We tried both doors. Both doors had signs saying, "Want this space? Call us." But neither one of us looked until the second door, and we're okay. Well, this is very wet. Let's just go into Sugar again, the big store. And before I keep going, while we were in the station, it was raining. One of my friends didn't want to get wet, and I don't have another umbrella, but I do have an emergency poncho. So I whip out this emergency poncho, which literally is like a fucking bag with a plastic poncho in it, like a very cheap plastic poncho. Drape it over yourself. It works. It works pretty well. And he actually said, yeah, this is nice. I would like one that was like more solid and durable and didn't make me look like a condom. And I'm like, hey, you do look like a condom, don't you? And so we all joked throughout the entirety while we were there that he looked like a condom, which is very funny. Another great joke. We get to Sugar. I show him the sex thing, and I just keep trying to persuade him to have sex with me. Not actually expecting him to say yes, and he doesn't because he's he doesn't really like those jokes. I think they're hilarious, so I keep going. All my friends thinks it's very funny. We had a good time. We had a good time in that store, but we were in there for a long ass time because it was still raining. We were hoping the rain would go away soon because that's what the forecast said. But every time we got close to the time the forecast said, it jumped it by like a bajillion years. Eventually, we get there. We're there, and it gets like 9:30, somewhere around there. Again, I could probably find the actual exact time, and I don't know why I care so much about the exact time, because there's really no reason to care about the exact time. Hey, yeah, 9:30. Wow, I'm fucking awesome at this. It's like 9:30. One of my friends is like, man, I gotta go. It's too late. I need to be back home. And it's like, oh man, we didn't even get to do any of the rides and stuff, which sucks. But it's like, whatever. We still got to hang out with him. Eventually, we were out there. We got like a hot dog from like Nathan's over there, which is really good. Some fries and stuff. And we were like, okay, let's go. Let's go to sleep. And as we're walking towards the station, some guy goes and says, "Hey, this guy looks like a condom. This guy's dressed up as a condom." Some random guy on the road comments on my friend's poncho, and everyone starts laughing because it's so fucking funny. Because of course, only in Brooklyn will someone have the balls to call somebody a condom, just that you don't even know. It was so fucking funny. And we drop off our friend at the station because we walk our way back to Nathan's because we were still eating. And also at some point someone just came up to us and gave us a funnel cake that we were assuming was passed around generations because it was a very hard funnel cake, but it was still a funnel cake, so we did eat some of it. But we were also contemplating keeping it going and giving the rest to somebody else. It was just it felt like an old funnel cake. But it was still good. It was still a good time. Eventually the rain did stop, and then my friend left. We just kind of walked one of our friends mostly home, and we eventually got back to our apartment. We started just watching some like Family Guy, going to Snooze Town, and calling the first day there. It's pretty good. Pretty good first day. Pretty wacky first day. If Coney was more open and not flooded with rain, it probably would have been better. Also, this part was a little sad. As we're standing in It's Sugar, we see like an ambulance drive by, and then another ambulance drive by. We're like, that's kind of weird. Then like a couple of cop cars drive by, all going towards like the boardwalk, Coney Island, Luna Park, that sort of stuff. They're going that way. And my immediate thought is, oh, someone must maybe like lightning struck a ride or something. I don't know. I don't understand how things work. Maybe someone's stuck on a ride. More police cars. Eventually some fire trucks, more ambulances, and you're like, what the fuck happened? There's like, at least at this point, like 20 of them passed by, going the exact same direction. Cops are running, and it's like, oh, this isn't good, is it? And eventually one of my sister's friends asked one of the police officers around what the hell's going on, and it turns out someone went missing in the water. Because swim time is only from 10 to 6, because that's when lifeguards are out. If you're out in the water past that, don't be. You're not supposed to be. And of course it's like 7:30 somewhere. It's probably close to like 8 o'clock actually by the time we're over there. I'm a little bad at timing. But either way, we're there, and it's like, oh shit, that's really unfortunate. And eventually it does clear down. Everyone dies down, so we assume they found the person. We eat our Nathans and we move on. The next day, my friend updates us, and apparently it was not one, it was two people. They were sisters, and they died in the water. They didn't get out in time. Apparently, yeah, they got swept away by like a really big current as the thunder and shit was kicking in. And yeah, they did not make it out of the water. One of their cousins apparently really tried to get them out, but they were struggling too much because they were freaking out, because of course they were. So they couldn't actually get out of the water with them without also dying themselves. So they had to give up trying, which is I can't imagine the conscience that man has to live with now, and I feel really bad. I feel incredibly bad, and my remorse and apologies go out to the family who was affected by that. I don't think you give apologies for that. I didn't do it. If it makes you feel any better, family. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna make more jokes about that. That's really fucked up, and I feel really bad. But that was the Friday. And we're only 45 minutes in, and I've only gotten through one day of this trip. There was still technically 3 days of trip, which is kind of wild to me. We're not going to do a part 2. I'm just going to try to go over it as fast as possible. It's going to be a longer episode, but that's fine by me. This is a really fun trip, and I don't want to skip out on any details that I think are fun or necessary just because it's getting a little long. So forgive me for that. It's going to be a bit of a weird comeback episode, but I hope you guys are there for it. If you're not, that's perfectly fine too. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with anything. Again, this is all just sort of for me, like, especially this series. Like it's to entertain people with like what I want to talk about, but also I guess like especially for like story times in this, I don't want to forget this happened. I'm very bad at forgetting. I'm very good at forgetting things. So I just really want to keep this sort of like as detailed as possible. So that way, if I want to remember this thing, I can come back here and remember what happened. Because it was a really nice trip, and I really enjoyed it. So then Saturday comes around, and the first thing we do is we get up pretty early because we wanted to go to the Transit Museum, which is in more like up like Midtown Brooklyn, Uptown Brooklyn. I don't really know how you would word it because I don't really go over there very much. But I wanted to go. The main thing we were going to do that day was at 1 o'clock, we were going to do an escape room. We're going to do a prison break escape room, which is really fun. We've been really we've wanted to do escape rooms for a while now, and so that was what we wanted to do. So we wanted to do that, and we set it up. We figured it out. We were hoping at the start that at least 7 people were going to be doing this escape room. It eventually boiled down to 5, but it's fine. It's whatever. One of my friends had family over that week, of course, so they didn't get to do too much after that Friday, but it was fine. It was fine. But we went to the Transit Museum, which was a very fun fucking museum. Like, it was a really nice museum. We got there with, like, the trains were terrible because it was weekend. I kind of forgot about that sort of existence with the trains. It was just one train. During the weekend, most of the train lines in Brooklyn get substantially worse because they're doing a lot of maintenance and stuff on the weekends. So yeah, it was a little bit rough getting around, but we get there with, like, an hour, a little under an hour to look around, look at some of the shit that we thought was cool. And everything was pretty cool. There's a lot of cool stuff on the walls. There's a lot of cool stuff. There's like some cool like old pickaxes and stuff. The main section that I was the biggest fan of, there was like a turnstile section that showed you like the history of the turnstiles and also history of like the currency and the stuff you would use to get into the trains. There were a lot of like cool tokens and stuff. There were a lot of like old Metro cards on the line. It was really cool. I actually got a video of one of my friends going through the turnstile and pretending it was a really big deal. It was very fun. It was very fun. There's like a little booth on display as well that you can go into. I took pictures of me and my friends mugging each other inside the booth. Which is just so stupid, but it was really funny. And then the main exhibit that was down there, at the very bottom, was a whole huge lineup of vintage train cars, like subway cars. And these were awesome. This was the highlight for everybody. There were so many just old cars, and you can go in them. You can literally walk inside of them and experience like the 1930s train car, the 1950s, 1960s train cars. And it was so cool. Some of them had ceiling fans. What? That does not seem safe at all. But they did it. And it's like, wow. There's ceiling fans on these fucking things. It's incredible. It's amazing. I don't know why we were so amazed the fact that there were ceiling fans in these train cars, but we all were. It was really cool. It was really freaking cool. And a lot of the trains had old ads in them that were really funny to look at. The seats, every iteration had some wonky ass seats. It was just really fucking cool. It was just really, really cool. I don't really know how else to describe it, except it was just really, really cool. And fortunately, we didn't have too much time to actually explore that section. We only had like 10 minutes because we were running very close to time on the escape room, because by the time we leave that place, it's like 12:45, and it's like a 13-minute walk from there to the escape room place. So we're freaking out, like, oh dear lord, I'm freaking out. No one else is freaking out. That's a very common theme, especially for this day in particular. Everyone is just kind of taking it as chill as they can. I'm freaking out because I'm trying to make sure that we get to the places that we want to do and the things we want to see before we can't do them anymore. And I want to make sure we get to this fucking escape room, because it's like we all paid to go in there and escape. It would have been kind of awesome. And I didn't want to miss out on that, because like I didn't want to. Also, I didn't want them to miss out on it either. So, oh. Ow, sorry, I keep forgetting I shouldn't talk and yawn at the same time. So ultimately, I'm speed walking to that thing. They kind of pick up the pace a little bit, and we get out of the transit museum. We didn't get to go to the gift shop. We were planning on doing that after the escape room now, because we were like, oh, we don't have time. We wanted to go check out the gift shop. We go to the escape room. We get to the building at like 12:50, somewhere around there. And we're like, okay, we gotta go. But apparently, when I look up the address, it just shows City Point, Brooklyn. That's where we went to the escape room. And I didn't think much of it until we got there. City Point was a mall with a bunch of buildings in it. And we're like, oh, where's the escape room in here? And eventually, I asked a security guard, "Where's the escape room?" It wasn't like minutes after. It was like pretty close to when we get in there, because I wanted to make sure we got there in time. And luckily, they already called. The escape room place called, and we were like, there's like a 5-minute grace period. You guys are okay. They were very, very nice about us not being there exactly at the time they were hoping. But they. It was wild. But we asked the security guard. He's like, oh yeah, it's down in the food court. You take a weird left, and it's right there. It was not right there. It was downstairs. I thought he was just lying to us, because we went downstairs, and I took so many lefts, didn't find the fucking thing until like my 7th left. It was finally there, and I rushed us all into that building, and we actually got in there like 12:50, 7:58. So we were there on time, the 4 of us. And if you'll remember, I said eventually 5 of us got on this trip. One of my friend's younger brother was supposed to join us, but he didn't want to last second, so that was fun. But my sister's friend was also supposed to join us, and they didn't take the train with us. They didn't go to the transit museum with us, so we were just kind of expecting to meet them there. They were not there, funnily enough. They weren't there. And we're waiting. We're trying to get in contact with them. We all ready up. So 4 of the 5 people who were supposed to escape room are here. And we're trying to get into contact with them. And they're like, even if you guys can, like, they're so nice. They were like, if you guys need to go to, like, 110, we can do that. But after that, we do need to get it going. That way, so all the flow continues for all the rest of the rooms. And they're like, yeah, makes perfect sense. We're so sorry. We felt so bad. And the guys were like, guys, it's fine. We wouldn't tell you we could do it if it wasn't fine. And we, of course, yeah, but like we still felt bad. And eventually, my sisters were saying, fuck it, let's just go in. I don't want to take up their time anymore. And it was like 106, 107. And I'm like, no, because I don't, they said they were really excited to do it. I don't want them to miss out. So if we can wait a little longer, I'm okay with waiting a little longer, as long as they're saying it's okay. And like 107 comes around, and they say they're in the mall. They're like in the food court mall zone. So I start sprinting through it to try to find them, and I see them. I drag them in, and I'm like, sign this waiver. We're allowed to sign a waiver, and not everyone signed the waiver. I didn't sign the waiver. I forgot there was a waiver. So we signed the waiver, and we get into the escape room. Like 108, 109, basically right at the last minute of actually being able to do it. I felt awful. But we get in there, we do the escape room, and I'm not going to spoil anything about the escape room and how that worked. Not mainly because I'm saving it for next week, because I knew this would take a while to explain the trip. So I kind of figured I would save the escape room, because I figured that was going to be a huge chunk of time to talk about that, which it will be. I wrote everything down in grave detail, how it went. So that'll be a fun one for next week. So next week we're going to talk about that. But ultimately, we did an escape room. It was very fun. Good times. So then after that, we went back to the train, the transit museum. We bought some stuff. My sister got a really cool like MetroCard bag thing, which was really nice. I just got like a little MetroCard notepad. Sorry for the burp. I got an MTA pin. Jesus Christ, sorry. And I got an MTA pin, and I got a set of those little like 5 tokens, just like the MetroCard, like the Metro tokens that were used before the Metro cards, which are really cool. I've always loved coins and collecting coins and shit. I got that from my dad. Always thought they were cool as fuck. So I got them. I got 5. This is the wrong thing. I have a little bag of all the stuff I bought, and I'm trying to dig through it to find the coins. But I'm having some trouble. But yeah, either way, it's very cool. If I do put pictures, it's probably gonna be at the very end, because I'm not gonna remember to put pictures right now, because I don't have any pictures, and I'm just recording this. Maybe I'll show some stuff tomorrow on Friday for the during the stream. Just at the beginning, I'll just show a bunch of cool stuff that I got, and that'll be cool. I'll do that. I'll do it then. I'll show pictures then, because I gotta get this done. I also just spent an hour watching some stuff with my family, so I'm running a little bit short on time now, but it's fine, because you know what? I'm doing stuff and I'm having a good time. So, yeah, we went to the gift shop, got a few things, and then we went to the Brooklyn Museum. And there's only one real reason I wanted to go to the Brooklyn Museum, and that was if I'm being honest, one of the main reasons I wanted to go to Brooklyn as soon as possible is because there is a Paul McCartney Beatles exhibit in the Brooklyn Museum for until like mid-August or something. So I wanted to make sure I got there before mid-August, because I wanted to see it. And I was kind of expecting it to be like a couple of walls of like Beatles pictures. There was like almost like half of the whole 5th floor was dedicated to the Beatles and all like the fucking pictures that Paul McCartney had of the Beatles. And there were so many pictures, so many funny pictures, might I add. A lot of pictures of just Ringo looking absolutely miserable or just very stupid. There were a lot of pictures with George Harrison with a bunch of like X's and checks. It looked like it was like a hit list or something, or I thought someone was like defacing them, but they were like on the photos, so I have no idea what happened there. Just a bunch of weird pictures of everybody. They had a couple like video segments too, which were really nice. Like showed like the Ed Sullivan Theater show of that I Want to Hold Your Hand, which is really nice. Just love watching that on like a big ass screen. Was pretty cool. But then also towards the end of the exhibit, there was like a little like photo montage of a bunch of the photos, and they like seamlessly transition between them. But then for whatever reason, for a picture of Ringo looking happy, and then it just slowly like anamorphically style, like like the Animorphs children's books and like, the shows for that, it like transitioned like that. From Ringo being happy to Ringo being sad, and so it wasn't just like a picture of him happy, picture of him sad. It like morphed him to like show from going happy to sad, and it was incredibly creepy, but also incredibly fucking hilarious. I love that. So that was a really fun exhibit. We looked at a couple other things as well, but we got there with like a little bit of time left before they started closing down, so we didn't look at too much after that. We spent like an hour at the fucking Beatles exhibit. It was very nice. It was very fun. Even my friend who doesn't like the Beatles had a good time, because he saw a bunch of stupid pictures and thought, oh, that's funny. And he had a good time. We had a really nice time there. And then after the Brooklyn Museum, my friend left, and then we just kind of walked around. Went to some stores that we haven't been to in a while. We went to like a deli that we haven't gone to in a few years. They had the beef patties that I always loved. Like they have beef patties there that I got like every day, and they taste just exactly the same as they did before. And I'm so happy. I got like 2 of them. I wish I got more than 2, but I only got 2 of them. But they were so fucking good. I was in cloud 9 eating that fucking beef patty. Holy shit! Especially when they were cold. Oh my god, when they got cold, it was so good. It was so good. I love it so much. I got some pizza from a pizza place that was near where I used to live. Got some calzones. I got a bunch of stuff. That was like what we ate that night. Just a bunch of fucking like It was Pizza Den. It was by the 18th Avenue train station. We got a bunch of calzones. We got 2 calzones. We got some slices and a bunch of garlic knots. Haven't had garlic knots basically since I lived in Brooklyn because I never really thought about them unless someone bought them. But I remember Pizza Den garlic knots being top notch, and they were. So that was delicious. That was a really good dinner. And then we just watched some Family Guy. Went to sleep. And then we got ready for Sunday. The last full day being in Brooklyn. And it was a pretty fun day. We didn't have anything like timed, so we kind of just chilled for a while. Like it was a much more chill day than the days before, because Friday was a nightmare in terms of scheduling. Anyway, it was still a fun day, and then Saturday was we had to be at this place, and we had to be at this place, and after that we had to go to this place, and we had to be there, so we have time to browse and stuff. This time it was just let's just chill out, do a couple things. The only thing we really had set was we wanted to go to the New York. There. We wanted to go there. The New York Aquarium. There we go. Jesus Christ. I'm going insane. The New York Aquarium is where we were going, and that was a ton of fun. We got there, I want to say like 11:30. So the entire morning, we were up pretty early, but then we just kind of chilled, watched some Family Guy. We binged a lot of Family Guy, just like how we used to do back in Brooklyn. That was like one of our like main shows. We just binged all the time. Still to this day, pretty accurate. But yeah, we just did that for a while, just chilled, and then we went to the aquarium for hours. I think like 4 hours or so. We went to every exhibit, and we took our time, because normally when we go to the aquarium, we always went with people who really only wanted to be there for like an hour or two, wanted to see everything really quick and then get out. So we never got to really just sit and enjoy it, because I love animals. I love ocean creatures. I love jellyfish and octopi especially. So the spineless exhibit, we were in there for so long. And my older sister is a really big fan of jellyfish as well. Probably bigger fan than I am for sure. So they got hundreds of pictures of them. Their phone was way better at taking pictures. I got some videos. I got a really funny video of like an otter nodding at me or something, but it was silly. I got some nice videos, but they got nice. I got like poor quality but nice to have videos. They got really good quality photos. Of the whole trip, might I add. So I'll show you some stuff. But generally speaking, the aquarium was very fun. We got to see a bunch of stuff. We bought some stuff. Let's see, what did I get from the aquarium? I got a blue ring octopus necklace thing, which I thought was really nice. It was like a metal necklace. I just thought it looked cool. There was a... Trying to remember without looking through my bag, but I don't think I can. I got my ma like a ceramic walrus because it reminded me of a movie we watched that she loves called Tusk. Reminded me of that, so I got that. I got a shirt that says Jurassic Shark, and it's like the Jurassic Park, but it's like a shark skeleton in there instead, which I think is really funny. I got a seahorse pin, and I got a lanyard for my keys at work, so I can remember it always. I can always remember my trip there. I also got a really big, I'm grabbing it like you can see it, but I got like a little stuffed squid guy, because I was gonna get an octopus, but I was like, I was gonna get an octopus and a little sea otter. I was like, or I can get big squid for like the same price, basically. So I got big squid, because he just he spoke to me. I think he's cool, and I love him. He's awesome, and I will treasure him forever, because he's awesome. I love underwater animals. The aquarium and the zoo were always my favorite things to do as a kid, especially the aquarium. But the zoo as well. I just love animals. I think animals are some of the best things in the universe. So I just love them. I love them all. So going there was a lot of fun. Spent a lot of time looking around. You can tell I'm getting tired now. I've only been awake for an hour. I feel like I could be like a sloth. I feel like that's the life I should live. But then after that, we went to. I'm trying to remember. Oh, they're all. I'm sorry. I don't want to jump away from everything. The aquarium was fun. There were a few. There was like a regular fish exhibit with like. There was one fish there that the first tank we saw. There was a bunch of fish in there. There was 2 fish in particular that caught our eye. One was one that kept photobombing every photo we tried to take. We kept trying to take pictures of these little fishing dudes, and this one big motherfucker that I don't know the type of fish he is, but he was just a big motherfucker, kept swimming into frame. And sometimes he'd even like go like backwards swimming into frame. Like, what kind of fucking fish is this? So he just wanted to be in every photo. I'm sure if I look through my phone, I'll find some of him just blatantly stealing the show, especially for my sister. But then there was another fish that I think I like this one a lot more. He's a lot sillier. Right at the beginning, there was like a little orange, like a pretty big sized orange fish. Well, it looked like a goldfish, but like 3 times the size of a goldfish. Pretty big dude. Not like super big, but like big for what I thought looked like a goldfish. He was just he swam by, and I was like, oh nice, it looks cool. And I swam by again. I'm like, oh look, there he is again. And then he did it again. I'm like, oh wow, he's here again. Wow, crazy. He made the same loop like at least 40 times. We stood there at that one start bit for like 15 minutes just watching this fucker go. And there were some times where he would like branch off, he would like swim a little to the left and then he would make the loop, but he always made that loop. He made that loop every single time we saw him swim by, at least, again, like 40 times until we left so he could go do the loop for other people. It was very funny. It doesn't sound funny, but it was very funny. I had a good time. There were also a bunch of like little trash statues around the aquarium, like it's like statues of fish but made out of trash and stuff, just to like be like, hey look, we're caring for the ocean and stuff, which is very nice. They were very nice statues, and also just very good message. So hey, I'm all a big fan of that. I have a few pictures of the statues. I have a lot of videos of like the penguins moving. There were some like African penguins there. They had a bunch of little sea otters and lions and stuff that were being really cute. I had a picture. My sister took it, so I had to get it from them. But there was like me holding up one of the plastic statue things, but not really, you know, it's perspective and stuff. But there were a lot of cool ones. Oh, we also saw like a Beavis and Butthead sign on the in the sky, like a plane was dragging it. And apparently yesterday there was a new Beavis and Butthead on Comedy Central, which I kind of forgot about. So that was a thing. So if you guys watched that, that's pretty cool, right? Just a lot of cool stuff. The aquarium had a lot of cool stuff, but also a lot of assholes who were like shining the lights at the octopus and stuff when they're not supposed to do that. Because, fuck, the world revolves around them, you know. So that wasn't fun. But overall, very cool stuff. Very, very fun stuff. And there was also one exhibit that was depressing. Again, every day I kind of had to have something sad. This one, it was like a fucking exhibit about like the sharks. It was a shark exhibit that finally opened. It was supposed to open years ago, but they finally got it set up, and we went in there. It was awesome. There was one section about like they would catch sharks and just like fin them. I think that's what the term was. I don't remember exactly, but it was like they would cut off their fins and then just throw their live bodies back in the ocean, and they just struggle around until they died. Like, that's so fucking sad, because they were, like, for, like, shark fin soup, but then it's like, they just take the fins and they fucking kick them off the boat and just throw them away. Like, what the fuck? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, it was incredibly depressing to watch that, and it just makes me feel terrible. It makes me feel so angry at people for, like, why would you do that? Like, I love people. I have a genuine, overarching joy for people in my life. But there's some people who just deserve to die. And those are the types. Those are absolutely the types of people. People who just... Like, I understand fishing for, like, to eat and to live to an extent. But if you're just mass fishing, like, sharks, just to cut off their fucking fins, go fuck yourself, alright? Just go fuck yourself. I don't approve. I don't think anyone approves, if I'm being honest. Except for the people who want the shark fin soup, I guess, which is, I don't know, Gordon Ramsay, and that's probably it. So fuck you, Gordon Ramsay. No, I'm sure I imagine Gordon Ramsay wouldn't dabble in the shark fin soup. If he would, then I would hate him. Just plain and simple. So yeah, pretty shitty stuff. But everything else was really nice. And again, it was a good segment. It was really fucking eye-catching. Like, holy shit. Yeah, that sucks. How do we stop that? You know, it was nice. It was a good exhibit. Very, very nice place. Very, very cool. The New York Aquarium is very nice. The only thing we didn't see was a sea otter show. But that's because it's the same thing every time. Like, we went there dozens of times as a kid, so I don't think we really needed to see it again. Especially if it took away from us just staring at fish in tanks. You know, we had a lot of fun doing that. So yeah, that was the aquarium. We went to the mall after that. We saw some incredibly creepy rides at the mall. It was like little, big actually, like animals that you could like just pay money to like ride it around the mall. And they were incredibly creepy. They were for children, and they made them as creepy as possible. They could have made them cute. It wouldn't have been hard to make them cute. It was literally just like a cow and a fish and a worm and a guinea pig. But they made them in the most either photorealistic in the wrong way or creepy way. Like the fucking worm had his big gaping mouth open and he was like screaming. It looked like he was screaming in like agony, but also anger. And he wasn't in a cartoony face. It was like a realistic face of just a worm screaming. It's like, what the fuck? Just why? Like, I didn't take too many pictures of those. I took a picture of the guinea pig one, so you'll probably see that tomorrow. But it's like, what the fuck? What's wrong with this place? So I never saw those before. That was just terrifying and disturbing. And every face was weird. There was not one that was moderately normal. I don't get it. I don't understand why that happened. But went to the mall for a little bit. The mall is about as mall-y as it gets, you know. You can't really expect too much from the mall. That was probably the first time I remember going to Kings Plaza Mall. That's where we went. The first time I ever went there, I got kicked out for going up the down escalator, and then I just sat outside eating 7-Eleven pizza until a homeless man thought I was also homeless and wanted some of my pizza, and then he noticed it was cold 7-Eleven pizza, and he said, nah, I'm good, and walked away. True story. But yeah, we went to like the Five Below in there. I got some like octopus tentacle hand things, so maybe you'll see that in a video or a stream at some point. And then also I got at Hot Topic a cool like Futurama can. It's like a mom's old-fashioned robot oil can from Futurama. I just think it's really cool. It was really nice. It's cool. I got some stuff for like my family too, but I'm not gonna ramble on about that. I got a ton of stuff for them. Hopefully they'll like it. But yeah, just generally speaking, it was pretty nice. And so we went to the mall for like an hour or two, not even that long. It was a pretty short trip, honestly. But we had a good time. It was very fun. And then we got out of there. We were planning on going to Coney afterwards, but we were just like, you know what? Let's just chill. You know, let's just take it chill, take it easy. So we found some Chinese. Eventually found a Chinese food place. We thought if we head back to where we were staying, we'd find a Chinese place pretty easily, but it took us a million years to find one, only to find one that didn't have a menu, so we couldn't tell what we were trying to order, so then we had to walk some more in the opposite direction to find another place, and that one had a menu, and they had some good fucking Chinese food. Like, I don't really eat Chinese food much, but they had some good Chinese food. I just got like pork dumplings, I got crab rangoons, and plain lo mein. Easy peasy, and some white rice, a little bit of white rice. Very good. Very basic stuff, but also very delicious stuff. It was so fucking good. Oh my god, it was delicious. Like, the food, the Chinese food here doesn't hold a fork to like Chinese food back in Brooklyn. I don't know what it is, but it really doesn't. And it's strange, but it's very different. But not in like it's not like the pizza and the bagels way. Those are vaguely different and incredibly terrible. This one not so much. This one was pretty good. It's pretty okay. It's still good here, but it's not as good. But either way, ate some Chinese food, watched some Family Guy, went to bed. Early in the morning before we had to leave, we went to Delhi by me and my older sister's high school to get some chicken cheese fries, which I've talked about in my best taste video. And I got some of those again. And it's the same people running it. It's the same people cooking it. It's the same people. It's the same food. Nothing changed about that place. And I was so happy to see them again. And I ordered all of us some chicken cheese fries. And holy shit, I almost cried because it was a fucking nuclear bomb of nostalgia just going off in my mouth, and I was so happy. It tasted exactly how it used to, and I was so fucking happy. The textures were all the same. The flavors were all the same. The amount of food, they didn't skimp out on it. It costs like $2 more now than it used to, but it's still, I'll pay fucking $15 for that. I don't care. It's so good. I'm so happy. It was delicious. It was amazing. I got some like bubble tea for them. I didn't really want it, but they got it. They got some from a different store nearby that they used to go to a lot. They loved that. And then we made our way back to the trains and headed home. And we got home, and yeah, that's pretty much the trip. I'm sure there's other details that I forgot to mention. I do that a lot. But it was a really nice day. It was a really nice trip. I gotta say, it will live in my brain hopefully forever. But if not, it will now live here forever as well, assuming, YouTube stays around for the rest of the world's lifespan, which is not gonna happen. But you know what? It'll be around for at least today, and that's all that matters. That's all you can really think about. And if that's more than you can think about, I'm sorry. I get you. Pat, pat. I understand entirely. So yeah, I mean, that's about all I have for today. Next week we'll be going over the escape room. That's the only thing I didn't really try to talk about in at least some detail. There's a lot of detail that I have written down. So get ready for that. It still might be a shorter episode because there's a lot to say, but I don't imagine how it could take very long to talk about. Because it was an hour-long escape room, so if it takes any more than an hour to talk about it, I failed, basically. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But either way, that was my trip. If you, a word of advice, I would say, if you haven't been somewhere in a while, just go. Figure it out. Go. I know it's not easy to say that. Really, it's easy to say, not easy to do. But just figure it out. Just try. Especially if you miss it. Like, obviously, if you haven't been somewhere because you hate it, then don't go back. But for me, it's been a long time since I just spent a couple days out back where I used to live, my old home, and going over there with people, my sisters, and seeing my friends again. I'm so happy that I did this. And it cost a fucking ton of money. I spent so much money. But it was so worth it. I'm so happy. It was great. I had such a good time. And my sisters had a blast. My friends, I got to see them again. It was all a very good, positive experience. So, I'm happy. I'm very happy. And I hope you guys are happy too. Hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Tomorrow we're going to be playing some Sunless Skies on stream. Probably not for too long, just because I work at 2 tomorrow, so we'll play for like 3 hours or so. We'll see how it goes. We'll have a fun time. But either way, thank you all for tuning in to episode of Stranded Deep in Conversation. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And yeah, see you next time. Bye, everybody.